Hey guys, it's your girl Pinky, and I'm here in Washington with
OgMambo and OgChando. You know what I'm saying? Ill Society's in the building. Dig what I'm talking about?
L Society. What is that?
Ill Society. So that's the label that I got imprinted. So we got a distribution deal through Empire. So we just been developing that. Started kind of as a merch thing, and the Ill, the ILL, stands for individuals living life. So, you know, trying to be inclusive with all the people. If you want to be on some fly shit, you better go ahead and get into it. So that's what it is.
That's what's up. So where y'all sell it at? Like, it's online? Or?
Yeah, we got it online. So we got an Instagram page. It's Ill Society. There's periods between everything. So I.L.L. Society.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you said you did something with Empire. Like, what is that?
So we have a partnership distribution with Empire through Solid Rotation Sounds. So basically, it's just a distribution deal through them, so we can get some artists out, get their music out, get them on the right platform, kind of get a machine behind them, do some artist development and management, in addition to what I got going on as an individual artist, because the goal is to do my thing, but also, you know, do my CEO thing too, be able to help the people, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I always gotta get back to real.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about Mambo, the artist. You know, where are you from?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was born in Zimbabwe originally, and then I grew up in Seattle. So most of my life was spent in Seattle, North Seattle for the most part, downtown Seattle, all around the central part. And yeah, a lot of my life was like, before I fell in love with music, it was all about like athletics and sports, which is why with the merch, one of the first things I wanted to do was incorporate some jersey stuff, basketball, soccer, things that I was, you know, into when I was coming up, you feel me? So yeah, that's kind of like the basics of it. Heavy into the cannabis realm too. I was working in management and marketing and brand ambassadorship for a lot of different brands. Shout out to Freddie Fuego, someone I'm working with now. Just been kind of building the brand and kind of like my know-how into the game, and really, you know, stepping out and putting things out there. And that's what my naming mechanism is. The OG comes because, you know, did my little thing around here in Seattle, you know, earned my little stripes. I got my young bulls out here now, so I'm the old head, so I threw the OG in front of it. And then Mambo is something that like my pops would call us when we was growing up. It's just like a term of endearment. It's like how you call someone a king or a boss, you know what I'm saying? So put them joints together, and there you go. The story is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long has your rap career been?
Man, like 12 years. Like 12 years, but there's been developmental stages. So like the first like 6 years of doing music from like, because I graduated out of high school in like 2010. So when I got out of high school, that's when I really started to kind of take it serious, do shows, were getting booked, you know, try and put music videos together, really study the game, you know, conceptualize, because at that point in 2010, 2011, we still got hard CDs, so it's like album mode, you know.
Right.
People aren't really thinking about, let me make a single I could put on SoundCloud or iTunes or whatever the case is, you know. It's like building projects. So I spent like the first 2 years getting some projects together, getting stuff going out, but I was going under a whole other moniker. My government name is Fungai, so a play on my government name was Fungizzle, and I was rocking with that. So if you want to dig into the vault and hear some of them is some decent raps, I ain't gonna lie. I actually flipped a few of the records to make it so, yeah. So that's what it was rocking with. And that was like something that, because you know, back in the day we used to have like the little Messenger, MySpace. It was like my MySpace name or some shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. So with my So with my cousin who put me on game, that's how I started doing music. He was a producer, and he was already kind of doing his thing on the local scene. You know, he wasn't nationally renowned, but like people in the town who were in the upper echelon were tapping in, working with his beats. So when we were over there, I got to freestyling, and he was like, "So what you gonna go by?" I was like, I mean, this is what Cassidy called me. He said, "Yep, boom, Fungizzle, put it on the record." And then that's what it was. So I was rocking with that. Yeah, it was different, and it was unique, and it was cool, and that's why I kind of stuck with it for the first 6 years. But then when I hit 2016, I kind of reached like a plateau on the local scene to where I felt like I was tapped in with who I needed to be tapped in with. I had thrown shows, sold them out, you know what I mean? Kind of did my thing, and I stepped back and I reevaluated the game, and I was like, when I'm about to step into this next phase of like getting deals and really moving, I don't know if that's something that really represents me, is my brand, all that. So that's when I started to plot and really shifted into the mambo thing. So then the last 6 years has been kind of developing that. Like, you know, within the first year, it was really just like locking in the sound, rebranding the sound. Cause like I said, you listen to the old music, there's some cool raps in there, but with this music, it's like, it's not about what you say necessarily, it's how it's being delivered, you know, because hi, how are you can come off a different way depending on your tone and your delivery and all that. Your cadence is hi, how are you, or is it hi, how are you, all that. So I was figuring that part of the game out, right? So in the process of doing that, made a couple projects. The first project I dropped was called Fresh Start, which was a play on, you know what I'm saying, me restarting after being in the game for a minute. So it was, you can look that up, it's on iTunes, everywhere. And that was kind of me playing with the different sounds. And then as I got a response from that, I was like, okay, cool. They like it when I do this little player shit. Okay, let me give you a project that's player shit. Oh, you like it when I give you something that's like, got that Bay influence turned up. Oh, okay, boom. You like it when I got you something to smoke and ride to, some Southern vibe, you know what I'm saying? So I tapped it in different pockets and started to bounce around and kind of figure out then. And, you know, got us all the way to where we at now. So 3 years, so year 2, year 3 was kind of building that, getting the music out, and then I really was just like smacking pavement, doing as many shows, any shows I could. I was locked in with a couple promoters, so when motherfuckers would come to town, I was on that bill, you know what I mean, in the building, networking, making sure I made it right. Whether, you know, whether it was Currency, J Electronica, man, Kurt Cobain's, YG, all sorts of people, you know what I mean? When there's coming through, I was on the bill. You know, everybody who was coming through, I think, you know, so when we was doing that, kind of getting on those show bills, it was really just getting my reps up. And through that, I got an opportunity to do it was like an underground level tour, but that put me on the road to get to kind of see all the different states. Like we went all the way down to the West, down to the D, we was in Dallas, into Louisiana, in Virginia, all moving around, getting to see the different responses. And for all artists out there, especially if you're starting, you gotta touch road and really go somewhere else, because your local scene is people you went to school with, it's people you grew up with, maybe you played sports with, you jugged, or you might have
niggas ain't gonna take you seriously.
Right, it's an ex, and you have an ex-girlfriend in common. Basically, they're gonna look at you like they know your story, right? Because if they know, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, they know your story. But for all y'all tuned in, when I meet y'all, all y'all know is OgMambo, right? And the story that's being delivered. So the only way, if you want to know about me, all you can do is listen to the records, watch the videos, pay attention to my maneuver, my vernacular, all that, and then you can kind of learn it. So I peeped that if I get up out of town, my comfort zone, then I can introduce myself to whoever I want to, and then they can pick and choose. They can fuck with it, or they could be like, no, I ain't fucking with it. But 9 times out of 10, they was like, oh shit, we fuck with it. Oh, Seattle, I got a cousin up there. Don't y'all got legal weed? Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Do you feel like your music has like a Seattle sound, or do you like, what do you describe your music as?
Mambo music.
Man, yeah, for real, it's kind of hard to. I try to. Like I always ask people if they got something to compare it to, but because I bounce into so many different pockets, and I don't think it gets locked in anything. But in that same breath, like that's kind of Seattle sound. A lot of artists out here can kind of tap into different genres, maybe something that's popular, something that's never been heard before, and that's I feel like what the point is. When I came up, I'm a 90s baby, so when I'm looking at the rap game, I don't want to be like such and such. If you hear my record, I don't want you to be like, damn, that sounds like a so-and-so record. Oh, okay. Oh, it sounds like, oh, that's you on some Detroit shit, or you on some whatever shit. I want to be able to bounce around, and even if you hear the beat and be like, damn, that's like a kind of one of them Detroit beats. The cadence that I'm giving you is mambo. You know what I mean? It's original, it's different. But that makes it kind of difficult because when you're introducing something unfamiliar to people, they're like, I don't know. If you put a plate in front of somebody, it could be some bomb food. They never had that before, they're going to be like, I don't know though. Like, they gonna bite it like this, you know? You know, just taste it a little bit, make sure it's busting. But when you give them something familiar, they're like, oh, that's a cheeseburger? Oh, okay, I know what a cheeseburger is. You feel me?
Sure.
So, yeah.
Do you feel like you had any musical influences on you? Like, just maybe like who you were listening to coming up that made you like, man, I want to be like a rapper. I want to be, you know, that.
Man, well, for sure, definitely Currency and Wiz when I was like in my stepping into the game phase. But coming up, it was all sorts of people like Ludacris, E40, 50 Cent, you know what I mean? These are all different artists that not necessarily made me be like, damn, I want to like be like that person, but like as I'm looking and listening to what they're doing, I was like, there's a certain like 50 Cent delivery or Ludacris delivery. Actually, all of them have real unique deliveries that I fuck with, and that's what made me want to do my thing and speed it up and slow it down and be able to, you know what I mean, play around with my voice and do things like that.
Definitely.
So if you listen, you'll kind of hear like mixes of all those different influences in, whether the flow pattern's kind of like sporadic or my tone is real chill, laid back. It's like, yeah, because I feel like this is a sport too. Like Kobe became Kobe because he was watching Jordan film. He was watching, you know what I mean, Magic film, and got into, ooh, okay, he crossed like this. Oh, okay, I'm finna do it just like that. So I'd be doing the same thing. Like E40 would just take a word and take that word and bend it and stretch it like it's a funny balloon or something. So I try and do the same thing and play with a word, the meaning on it, the play on it and stuff like that too. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So what projects are you working on currently that maybe you can look out for, or you want to just tell us like, hey, this to me, this to me, what projects you got right now?
Man, we got, so there's what people should tap into. You can start at Taste Test, the hard liquor series, and then kind of progress everything that's released from 21 onward. Because it's just been like the last 2 years, I ain't gonna lie, it's been fun creativeness. So we got Taste Test, hard liquor. I just released a project called Pheno Hunt, which is doing real well. It's probably like, as far as streaming goes, my best received project. Like it's been doing good, having the team behind me, the machine pushing it, and we're just tapping into a bunch of different sounds. And the Pheno Hunt, for people who don't know, it's like wine tasting for weed, pretty much.
Okay.
If you tap into my YouTube, go to my YouTube, there's a Pheno Hunt video. You can see me and Chando up in there at the Freddy Fuego Pheno Hunt. But yeah, that's like, it's a little more scientific. If you listen to the project, I got an interlude where I break down exactly what it is, but that's the gist of it. It's like a wine tasting for weed. So what I wanted to do, because like I've been talking about, all my sounds are so different and unique, I wanted to give people every different thing. So it's like when you listen to one track, it's like you tasting a different flavor. When you listen to the next track, it's like a different flavor. Next track, it's a different flavor. And then the next project that I'm cooking up right now, working on getting some features too, so out of the Bay, you know what I mean? We got one locked in with Nefta Pharaoh that should be coming through soon, waiting on that verse. Actually, he texted me on my way here, so we're waiting on that verse, you feel me? But that's gonna be on this project called Grab a Plate, which is kind of the same type of concept. It's meant to be like a cookout vibe. You feel me? That's why I called it Grab a Plate. So it's like you're supposed to come in and every record's supposed to pull a new person in, a new personality in, because that's what it'd be like when you at the cookout. It's like, you know who's gonna be there early, you know who's gonna show up late, you know what cousin's gonna hit the cut. It's usually me and Chando. We gonna be, hey, yeah, we got to go grab something from the car right quick. You know, so you can sneak a little session in and do all that. So that's the concept of that. So those two projects, Pheno Hunt being out now, and Grab a Play should be coming before the end of the summer, because I want to give people something to jam to. My goal is to have 50 songs out, and I'm at like 20. So for the year, you feel me? So we got a couple more.
So we'll look out for the rest of those.
Yeah, stay tapped in. Stay tapped in. More visuals and things like that too. Just trying to be more creative. Jump in my little acting bag a little bit with these skits and interactive, integrate the music and the acting and stuff like that too. And our live show game has been insane. So we were getting ready to set up a tour. Because I got Bro with me, we got MD Soulful on the saxophone going crazy, on the keyboards going dumb, my man D Hospitality going crazy on the drums. I usually bring out the homies Web, Wavy, D Mikey, they come and rock with me too. So we got like, that's also out too. Like there's vlogs and stuff like that out too. So if you go to my YouTube, you can kind of tap into my story from beginning to end and kind of get the gist of it too. But now that we got the package locked in, now it's time to sell that package off and put it in Dallas, in Phoenix, in all these different places and be able to show it. Cause until you got your package right, you can get booed out to somewhere. You know, you want to be able to confident and be like,
has that ever happened to you?
Nah.
No. I got booed out the city.
No, and we've had some whack shows though too, man. Rest in peace to my brother Swab, bro. Man, this is crazy. Man, so in the early phases of the game, we were just a little bit unprepared. And we did a show in Yakima because we had done 2 shows with YG. The second one was in Yakima. and we was just a little unprepared, so the music was messed up. We ended up having to use like an aux cord. It was ratchet. It was not popping. It was not looking smooth. But we finessed it and we're gigging enough so that like the interaction was cool, and that was it. And then from that moment on, it was like, oh yeah, no, we're never not gonna have backups on backups, next to backups, underneath a backup, and things like that. Exactly. Yeah.
So, Chando, what's your role? Tell us, you know, what do you
Who's the hype man? Shit, road manager. Probably helping like just put like features, interviews together. Just keep the energy like in the studio with them. Let them know like what songs to do, what songs to die.
Do you only work with Mambo or do you work with others?
Shit, right now it's just Mambo right now, but it just stretch out to the artists.
Cool. You guys got a dope vision, a dope look, RCT, all coming together. If you could, you know, give advice to somebody starting out and wanting to be kind of where you are now, what would you
Man, the advice that I would give is that, I mean, it's really everything that I've been talking about. Step one, you want to find yourself, your sound, be able to represent something that you can be confident in. Don't try and sound like nobody else, but you want to know who you're talking to. You know what I mean? That's what I had to figure out. Like, who am I talking to? I want to talk to people who like to do this type of stuff, like to do that type of thing, right? So that's the music, which is really like a small piece. Then you gotta do this, get your team right. Like, you know, I got Chando rocking, so like you said, you locking in interviews and doing moves so that creatively I get to be an artist. You know what I mean? You lock into that. Then you build up your team. When you go out to do your shows, and be ready to do shows. That's real important because you don't want to just sound good. There's so many people that sound good and then they come to the city and we have to show like, damn, this nigga weak as fuck. I'm not gonna put nobody out, but like big names. You know what I'm saying? Like people that's on the radio that we jamming to. And it's like, damn, this sucks, bro. This nigga sucks. Like he's moving too much. He's not doing. You know what I mean? So get your show tight. And then once you get your show tight, you just, you know, operate the business. So yeah, the music, your team, and then getting your show and your operation right, really. And that's really where I'm at now, to try and expand and be getting deals and opportunities to be able to network and try and put other people in position too. Be on the lookout for Kaleem Beats, Scumbag Zay, and Art Bay too. They all signed to L Society. Those are the first 3 artists that we're gonna get launched up out of there. You know.
So how do you guys get paid though? Like how do you get paid for what you're doing right now?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, so that there's Google, BMI, and ASCAP. I can't really break down the science of it, but Google those 2 things and what they mean. Those are like back-end business. That's how you like collect your checks. And then with distribution, I keep saying the word distribution. That's like, distribution is TuneCore, DistroKid, all these platforms where you upload your music. That's one way where you get your music on the back end. Then you want to have like a sound exchange. Sound exchange is how you collect your overseas bread. And then you getting paper off your shows. You have to go and network with the shows. Like you don't just get booked because you hot or because you dropped a video. You got to take that video, walk in the building and be like, hey look, I'm so-and-so. My video, look right here, it's got 10,000 views. Boom, look, there's 30 of my homies right there, and we got 70 more that can come through. We can fill this room up. That's what you do. So if you coming up, especially because there's a lot of cats who coming up, if you got your whole hood behind you, your whole school behind you, you take them people and you present it, because that's all they want. That's what the labels is looking for. They're like, where are the niggas at who got people? Because they want to sell their shit with you to them and collect the money on it. That's what they're doing. They say, oh damn.
Everyone's making money in the process.
Exactly. They say, you got 500 people that you can sell to? Okay, shit. Well, here, we'll give you some money for this product and then give us 20%, 30%, whatever the percentage is off of the product, and we break bread like that. So that's what you want to do. You build your you build your team, and then you build your likeness up by doing your thing, and you use that. You got to walk into rooms and really be confident. And if you can't switch up your vernacular from talking like that to, hey, how you doing? Yeah, no, so we're really looking to do it like this, and the numbers that we have are really in this percentile, and we're projecting from like our demographic is between
business voice.
come on, for between 18 years old to 25, or from 21 to 30 years old. So they all gonna be drinking at the bar, and usually our numbers at the bar at this percentage. You talk like that, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, book it, do that. Use the room for as many times as you want.
Right.
Then once you sell that room out by yourself or with your homies, the niggas in your hood, then you take that bread, look around and get whatever celebrities around you. You know what I'm saying? Get that. You know what I mean? Up and coming artist, that one who's coming up. You know what I'm saying? That person who's signed to
that baby face, right? Or...
yeah, like someone who's signed. You know what I mean? Who's on that next level? Who's about to blow? You get them. You like, hey, bro, we'll give you 5 bands. Come to our city. Boom. Now they come to your city, and that's how you make bread.
You giving them too many gems.
Hey, but you know what? The game's supposed to be free.
Well, I thank you guys for coming out. I mean, we've got so many gems from you guys, and I cannot wait to see what you have coming in the future. So thank you guys for
I
everything.
appreciate you for having us. It's a free game giveaway. Now, if you tap into the music, you know what you're gonna get. If I gave away this many gems right here, man, choo!
And you don't lose nothing from giving nothing away.
You might walk away with $1 billion listening to that mambo. You know what I mean?
For sure. Thank you guys.